Okay, hey guys. We're gonna do this video is gonna be the first video in the set. It's gonna tell you about how to set up and mark up the video in Logger Pro. So I'm gonna go fast. Make sure that you pause periodically to copy what I do. All right. So first I'm gonna open up Logger Pro. All right. Now this is gonna be movie analysis. So I'm gonna need to go Insert. I'm gonna go to Movie. Again, pause if you need to. All right, now the movie should be in your downloads. So there it is in my downloads. It's called 40.mp4. Should be called the same thing for you. All right, so there's our movie. It's already nice and big. I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay. Now, two things I'm going to do before we start. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to Movie Options. Excuse me, it's two finger click. Two finger click, or I think if you double click, it'll show up as well. All right, so two things we need to do. First, and this is big, okay? So this checkbox right here, first VA point defines movie time 0. Make sure that box is checked. We're always going to want that checked from now on. And then we're going to go advanced movie blank. So let's go ahead and do 10 frames after adding a new point. It'll seem tedious at the beginning, but it'll go fast after that. All right, so 10 frames is what we're doing. All right, so remember that we need our tools. I need the dot tool is going to be the add point. Now I'm just going to go ahead and skip ahead. I know that he starts. Okay, there we go. So I actually want to put the first dot on the runner's head right when I see his hand lift off the ground. So right there, I see his hand lifting up. I'm going to go ahead and start putting dots. All right, so it's going 10 frames. I'm putting dots on his head every single time. And so this will take me just a second. It shouldn't take you too long either. Notice that the dots were pretty close together when he started off, but now that he's speeding up, the dots are spreading out and getting a little bit farther apart. Make sure that you're taking your time to make sure that we're putting dots perfectly on his head every single time. It has to be in the same part of his body every time, or else it's going to skew our data. All right, I'm doing pretty good so far. And I'm going to keep putting dots on all the way until I can't see him anymore. I'm going to put as many dots as it will let me. There we go, and he's gone. All right, so I've got all my dots on. Now, dots are not the end, okay? There's more that I have to do, so I'm just going to go down the line here. The next one down is set origin, and I'm just going to click at the exact point where he started. Boom, right there. There's my origin. Move down. There we go. All right, next up, I'm going to use my ruler to set the scale. Now, this is super important. This is going to be a spot that I'm going to talk about to the class, a place where you don't want to mess up. So when I set my scale, I'm going to try and trace the path that he ran. Now, he started just above the 30, and he finished just above the 30. So I'm going to start my tool just barely above the 30-yard line, right on the white line. And I'm going to drag it all the way over to just barely above the 30-yard line, right on the white line. If we go too high or too low, it's really, really going to mess our stuff up. Now, that is 40. I'm going to change meters to yards. 40 yards from the 30 to the 30. Okay. All right, so now I've got my data. That looks pretty good. One thing I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to go back to my set origin tool and see how this yellow line is just not quite perfectly even with the green. I'm just going to move it a little bit, and that looks pretty good so that it's parallel to the green. I don't want it going up or down. I want it nice and parallel with the green. Okay, so this looks good now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go, you can either press Command R, or you can go to Page, Auto Arrange. Either way will work, and I'm just going to make this a touch smaller as well. Okay, now last things we have to do before we're ready to analyze it. We have to change this to just X. So all I want is the red dots, and I should see a little curve at the beginning and then have it get pretty straight. And then I'm going to go to Insert Graph. And I've got my second graph. Now I'm going to either do Command R again, or I can go to Page Auto Arrange, and it'll fix everything up for me. But I don't want Y, I want X velocity. So I should have X up here, X velocity down here, and that looks nice, that nice curve. Okay, once you have made it to this point, you're ready to go on to the next movie. If you're unsure of any of it, raise your hand and ask me questions. All right, thanks.